All right, so this next question here also is a continuation from yesterday's BloodHound workshop. So it really the question was about, how do you add the Ichimoku Cloud as a trend filter? So, but it also took a BloodHound system that was built a couple years ago, as well as the signal source here. So that is, well, yeah. I did have BloodHound on chart, but I removed it here because it's not necessary. So we'll see those signals in a moment here. So that was kind of a recap of yesterday's, BloodHound question on this. And so today we're going to set up BlackBird here with, as we can see, with 2 contracts. So the first target is just a quick 4-tick scalping. And then there is no target on the second contract, so that'll be just a runner, right? Second contract will be a runner. And then the stop loss will be 10 ticks for both. And then after target 1 is filled, we're going to move the second stop loss, or the remaining stop loss, to break even. And then also trail, so the remaining stop loss will trail with a 1-tick step. 1-tick step, 10 ticks behind the market, right? Until basically till we get a reversal bar, and that will take it out. And then also, yep, that's right. Also, we're going to add a trading hours filter here, right? So we can see we have 2 times throughout the day in which, a 2-hour period where trading is allowed. So we'll set up the scheduling in BlackBird as well. All right, so let's get BlackBird open. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to load in our signal source here. Right, so we are using a BloodHound signals from yesterday's workshop. So again, let's click on the ellipses button there. And there we go. So there is yesterday's BloodHound workshop file. So we're going to load that in. And then we need to select, the entry signal. Which logic template are we using for the entry signal? And so it's this one, right? Adding the Ichimoku Cloud as a trend filter. So that's it. And there we have it. So that's our BloodHound signals loaded in. And so now we can work on setting up the orders there. It doesn't mention what type of entry order. Yeah, it looks like I overlooked that. So let's just use a market entry order. Call it good. All right, and then the profit target. So it's a 4-tick profit target. So we'll start with the 10-tick profit target from this quick list here, right? And that'll get things started for us. And then we can go into the initial placement and then adjust it down to 4 ticks. Right, there we go. Okay. So that's that. There you go. Our profit target is 4 ticks. And now the stop loss is 10 ticks with a break even. So what I'm going to do, let's see here. We do have this 10-tick trailing with a break even. And, I'm not sure if that's really going to benefit us. But, yeah, I'll go ahead and select this anyways. So I'm going to use this quick list here just to get the stop loss started here, get the settings started. And then we're going to have to go in and make some adjustments to it. Actually, oh, wait. Sorry, the second contract actually has the break even. So now, this first contract here, we just need a 10-tick fixed stop loss. Call it good. All right, we're all done. All right, so now for the second contract, let's go to our next order set, and we'll make a copy of order set A. All right, so this is going to copy order set A there. And so now we can go in and just make our minor little adjustments. So there's no profit target, so we'll just delete that profit target. Oh, it's gone. So now we're left with a runner. And so now this stop loss, right, needs to move to break even when the first target's filled. So we'll open this up and go to the trailing actions tab here, and let's enable. So we're going to create a custom trailing setup here. And first thing we need to do is add a trailing rule. All right, so here we go. Stretch this out a little bit. And no, you know what? I'm actually going to get rid of that. Instead of building it from scratch, I am going to go and use this 10-tick trailing with the break even here. So just to recap, right, on the options tab, the initial placement, right, it is a 10-tick. So because remember, both stop losses are 10 ticks for both there, right? So we can see here, right, our first contract is 10 ticks and our second contract has a 10-tick stop loss. All right, so just to make sure that that's all clear and understood. And so next, let's move into the trailing actions here, right? So we do have a break even. It's a break even +1. So this doesn't have a +1 to the break even. So we'll take that out. And then instead of it being a break even at 10 ticks of profit, it's going to be a break even when profit target A, right, is filled or hit there. So all right, so we need to go into the trigger here, right? So the trigger is where you create these conditions that you're looking for, right? So this break even, what is the condition to move our stop loss to break even? The condition is we need to look or monitor when profit target A is filled. So to do that, let's see, to do that here, we're going to switch to the Advanced tab. We're going to switch over to the Advanced tab. And we need to get rid of the interval. So we're not using this interval, which this interval was set up to monitor for 10 ticks of profit, right? Because if you remember, the quick list that we selected said move to break even after 10 ticks, right? But we're adjusting this to move to break even when profit target A, or the first profit target, is filled. So we don't want this, so we're going to actually delete this trigger here. There. And what we want, the trigger that we do want, is order status changed. So sounds like a complicated, wording there, but order status. We're looking for when an order's state changes, right? And what is the order state? Well, when target 1 is filled, right? When target 1 goes from working to filled, right, its state has changed. So the order status changed is how we can monitor when various orders either get filled or canceled or submitted, right? So okay, so in the select order, we're looking for the profit target. So there you go. There's the profit target for A, right? And what is the state that we're looking for? Well, we're not looking for it to get placed. We're actually looking for it to get filled, right? So as long as any of the number of contracts are filled, that would be our trigger condition for moving that stop loss to break even. So, right? And so that's it. That's our trigger, is monitoring profit target A to see when it gets filled. And then the action's almost set up for us, but the action is we're going to move the order to. And so what are we moving the order to? So we're moving the order to the entry price, right? Break even is the entry price. But remember, this has a +1, a break even +1. So you can see in the offset that it has a 1 there. So let's knock that down to 0. So it's just break even and no with no +1. So all right, and so that's it. So that adjusts our break even trailing rule here. for exactly what we want. And now we can adjust the 10 tick trailing here. We can adjust that trailing here. So we need to go in and again adjust the trigger. We need to basically we want the trigger for the 10 tick trailing to match the trigger for the break even, right? We want them both to match. So we're going to switch over to the advanced tab again. We're going to delete that interval trigger, and we're going to add that order status changed trigger. All right, and we're going to set this order status changed up exactly the same way. So we want to, all right, the order that we want to monitor is the profit target, and the mode is the any filled, right? So when the profit target for A is filled, well, that is when the stop loss trailing will kick in. And then the action is already set up for us. So the action is again moving the order, which is the stop loss order, right? And so it's going to monitor the last price minus 10 ticks. So, and of course the allowed movement is with the direction of the trade only. All right. So in any case, I'm just kind of reviewing, what this is set up. So we're not going to make any adjustments. This is already set up perfectly correct for us. So, and the same thing with the repeat. The repeat is already set up to repeat indefinitely, because again, this trailing roll is, was set up as a 10 tick trailing. So there really was nothing to adjust except for what the condition that triggers the trailing. That was the only thing we needed to adjust. So, all right, and that does it for setting up the orders. So now we can go in and set up this, this trading time kind of scheduling here. So for that, we're going to go into the scheduling menu here, and let's enable the restrict auto entries, right? Again, this only restricts auto entries. So if you're manually or discretionarily using BlackBird for trading, this is not going to restrict your trading. Let's see here. All right, so we want from 10 to 12, and I'm going to assume, that this is probably 10 to 12 Eastern time. So let's adjust the time zone here for Eastern. There we go. No, not Easter Island. Oh, I need to, scroll down a few more. There we go. There's our Eastern time zone. UTC -5 Eastern time. There we go. All right, and so now we want from 10 to 12. I can just click that in there. Drag those down. Like so. There we go. There's our 2-hour block of time. And so now let's scroll down further, and let's see. So 20 to 22 military time is 8 to 10 p.m. So let's just do the same thing here. So we have 8 p.m. block of time, and then we'll just knock that down. And there we have it. So pretty straightforward. So, if you notice when I created a block of time, just to kind of give a very short summary of this, right now you can see it's starting with a 1-hour block of time, so if you did want to, go in with, maybe like 10 minutes after or something like that, then you could use this interface here to go in and say, all right, 310 or something like that, or 15. Yeah, there we go. So 3:15, and click that, right? And so that would be 2 p.m. to 3:15, something like that. So, and also you'll notice that each row is a 1 hour time span. And so if you wanted to, you can right click right on the left margin here, and you can see you can select different increments of time. So we could go to a half-hour increment of time, right? So now each row is half an hour, right? And if I go further down to 15 minutes, all right? And so now this block of time here I made from 2 to 3:15, there we can see it. I can use the mouse now to adjust it manually to 3:15. So yeah, just so you're aware that you can adjust the granularity of the rows here for each for this scheduler here. Anyways, let's get rid of that. I need to delete that like so. All right. So there you go. So you can go in and put in whatever kind of customized trading time you want. Some other things to note here is that there is this force trades to exit option here. So this would basically, close your trades whenever a block of time comes to an end. So, so you can enable that or disable that as you see fit. And there is also an offset, right? So that you can see it says 30 seconds before the session ends, right? So if you wanted to allow your trade to last maybe a minute after the trading session comes to an end, a 1 minute after, then you would put a negative value in there. So negative 60 seconds would be 1 minute after this block of time comes to an end. So, all right. In any case, so we'll turn that off there because this doesn't say anything about closing the trades there. So, all right. So that should take care of the trading time filter, and then lastly, just kind of adding a profit or loss filter here, and that would be in the money management here. So these are all pretty self-explanatory. Probably the most common here is the net max profit for the day or the net max loss for the day. So you can just enable those and set those as you see fit. Maybe $1,000 for profit, net loss, I don't know, $400 for the net loss, whatever, whatever fits, your trading system. So that's it. All right, so that should take care of that there. And let me click OK. And we do need to reload the chart so that way, right? And remember the messaging down here from BlackBird tells us that we need to reload the chart, and that's because BlackBird needs to load up the BloodHound indicator. So once we reload the chart, that gets NinjaTrader to load up the BloodHound indicator that BlackBird's going to use. And there we go. So, oh, well, bummer. It looks like, oh wait, there we go. So there's our signals for this system here. And yeah, it looks like it's been quite some time ago that we actually had some trade signals. Oh, let's turn on the auto trader. And who knows, if we're lucky, we might get a signal here. No. Oh, there we go. And, oh, what happened here? So, oh, we're outside the trade time. That's right. So, yeah, we're outside the trade time. Darn it. So let's turn the scheduler off there. Oh, there was another signal that we just missed. All right. So now that the scheduler is turned off, again, pay attention to these messages here. It'll tell you what's going on there. So maybe we might get another signal here. And nope. Yeah, that's right. We need, if I remember correctly, I think, I think this, this BloodHound template from 2 years ago looks for higher highs or higher lows, sorry. Yeah, there you go. We had a higher low, so there was a signal. So bingo, and there was another one, and boy, market just reversed on that real quick. All right, so that was our 2 emailed questions for today, and there we go. Look, there we go. There's that stop loss was trailing. Boy, oh boy, the NQ is a little too quick to really see anything going on there. And man, it really looks like the yeah, it looks like the spread on the NQ right now is really huge, because look at our entries versus where the signals are. Yeah, you know, that's because the spread on the NQ must be pretty darn big right now. So in any case, all right, so that's our second emailed in question. So with that, let me go to the Q&A window and see if there's any follow-up questions on this. All right, yep, Marco says it looks good, and he actually has it running on the AES. So sure, yeah, you know, in these workshops, I don't focus, my focus is never on the instrument, or usually it's never on the time frame. But of course, if the system was designed to run on Renko bars, you know, that's kind of important, because Renko bars are totally different looking and behave differently than, you know, minute or tick or volume bars. So otherwise, I don't really care about what the chart is. You know, the point of these workshops is to teach you how to build, you know, not to focus on the chart itself. So yeah.